Hello, and welcome back to our conversation. I'm Michaela, and I wanted to talk to you today about induced lactation and how it relates to an adult nursing relationship or an A&R. However, during my research, I came to the conclusion that to me, that is less important than the general opinion of an adult nursing relationship and how it relates to breast milk. So I want to talk about that. And if you don't know what an adult nursing relationship is, it's when one adult suckles or nurses from another lactating adult. What I have an issue with from just general conversation and things that I read online, research that I did with people, is that so many people find it so disagreeable, and I don't understand why. I actually had two ladies, tell me that it goes against God, which seems to be the argument for a lot of different things. Transgender, gay and lesbian couples, that seems to be the go-to for that. But there isn't anything in the Bible that speaks against it. As a matter of fact, there's a scripture that goes, "As a loving deer and graceful doe, let her breast satisfy you at all times, and always be enraptured by her love." That's Proverbs 5:19. So take that how you want to take it. People in adult nursing relationships are often seen as freaks, and many times people think it's gross. But first, let me tell you that the majority of the people that I know, including myself, are normal, everyday people. Everybody has kinks. Everybody has things that they like. Everybody has things that they do in the privacy of their bedroom. So to label, one group of people as weird or odd or, whatever is usually just due to lack of knowledge. And I hear the same thing when people talk about transgender or gay and lesbian couples. When people don't know or don't understand, they just label it as not okay or not right or whatever word they choose to use. And, that's a fallacy. And I can tell you that if you saw me walking down the street, I would be, well, not normal, but not weird or odd. I mean, I'm just a regular person who happens to have induced lactation. I also was going to debate that A&R doesn't have to be a sexual activity, because it doesn't. But the truth is, who cares? Who cares if someone is having sex during a nursing session, or if somebody is having a nursing session that turns into sex? I mean, who cares? Who cares what people are doing in their bedrooms? With the advent of the internet and all the things that we now see that are going on, that 10 years ago or 15 years ago were private activities. There's so much exposure that who really cares what you're doing when you're having sex? I don't. And if you have a partner that plays with your breast or, sucks on your breast or, whatever they do to your breast during sex, to your non-lactating breast during sex, it's just a part of sex. So why does adding milk make such a huge difference? Why is it so much to the point that I've actually had people call it revolting? Why? Let's talk about the breasts for a minute. In the US, women's breasts are taboo, and they're supposed to be kept from view. Showing breasts in public is supposed to be shameful and inappropriate. The law calls it indecent exposure. Breasts are supposed to be covered. Why? So I can't walk to the 7-Eleven with no shirt on, but I can watch my neighbor, who is elderly and overweight, mow his lawn with no shirt on. How is that okay at all? Kids get taught the same thing, and those kids grow up never seeing a natural breast other than their own. And because of this, young girls see large, enhanced breasts in the media all the time. And they see those without a balanced view of what natural breasts look like. So they begin to wonder and worry about the size and shape of their own breasts. This needs to stop. Young girls have enough body image issues with the media. This is one thing that they don't need. They don't need to worry about the size and shape of their breasts. They don't need to be 13 and think they need breast enhancement surgery. It's not okay. In other cultures, in European women, they commonly go topless. Topless beaches all over the place. In primitive tribes, especially in hot climates, the women wear very little. Well, everybody wears very little, and it's no big deal to be seen topless. Breasts are a beautiful part of the human body, but they should be viewed the same as legs, hips, your neck, or any other part of your body. They're just a part of the body. They're not anything that should be stigmatized. Okay, that's it. That's just my vent on breasts. Let's move on to something a little bit more controversial, and let's talk about breast milk. All of the people, all of them, who claim the act of drinking breast milk is disgusting, gross, or revolting are at this very moment reaching for a gallon of cow's milk at their local grocery store or out of their refrigerator. And we have been conditioned to believe that cow's milk is good for you, but human milk isn't. And the conversation becomes breast milk is for babies, which I don't disagree with that. Breast milk is for babies, but I got a news flash for you. So is cow's milk. Cow's milk is designed for baby cows or calves. Yep, that's what I said. Even with the cow's milk, you are drinking milk meant for babies. So, once again, I ask, why is breast milk such a big deal? Human breast milk is full of vitamins and nutrients. It's healthier than drinking milk from any other animal. And human milk is specifically designed and created to feed humans, not a cow, not a goat, and not a sheep. I found a quote online by Florence Williams that said, "Human milk is like ice cream, penicillin, and the drug ecstasy all wrapped into two pretty packages." Who wouldn't want that? After a baby is weaned from the mother's breast, we let the cows take over. And that makes us the only species on the planet that not only consumes milk into adulthood, but milk from another species. There's no other. The monkeys don't go, to the giraffes and say, "Hey, I need a gallon of milk." It doesn't work like that. Occasionally you'll read in the paper, a mother cat adopted a puppy. And that's just maternal instinct. That does happen. But on average, we are the only species that drinks milk from another species. Nobody sees anything wrong with that. Cow's milk has been described as nature's most wholesome food. We learn in school that dairy products form one of the main food groups we need for proper nutrition. Cow's milk contains most of the same components as breast milk, but in differing amounts. Why? Well, because cow's milk is designed for baby cows, and human's milk is designed for humans. One example of the design in human milk is that humans have more advanced brains. So human breast milk has evolved, I don't mean to offend anybody. Humans have more advanced brains than cows. So human breast milk has evolved with high levels of PUFAs, which is polyunsaturated fatty acids, and they're responsible for rapid brain development. Cow's milk contains significant lower PUFAs, but higher levels of saturated fats, which helps with rapid growth, because cows double their size in 45 days and humans take 180 days. There's also a difference in the proteins of these two milks. There are two important proteins in milk: casein, E-I-N, and whey. Cow's milk has 20 times more casein. It puts huge pressure on our digestive systems as it coagulates to form dense curds, because it's meant for a 4-tiered stomach of a cow. Human milk is made up of 60 to 80% more whey, which is easier for humans to digest. Cows have a brain weight 3 times smaller than ours and a body weight 7 times heavier. So it comes as no surprise that these proteins come in different amounts, for the cow and for humans, because obviously the babies of the different species have different needs. The bottom line, in my opinion, is humans are not meant to drink cow's milk. And to be fair, I searched out information on how breast milk is also bad for you. Now, there's no scientific study that says breast milk is good for you, but there's no scientific study that says it isn't, at least not that I found. Most of the info I found was about contaminated black market milk and not knowing the donor. With an unknown donor, you don't know, if they practice good sanitation, if the pump was cleaned properly before milk was expressed, what diseases they may or may not have. So those, to me, were the majority of the concerns that I could find in my research. I read so many articles and found research that still says, human breast milk is for babies and suggests after the first year that babies are put on cow's milk. Wait, what? It still drives me crazy that people don't understand that cow's milk is meant for babies. So, if our human milk is no longer good for our baby, then why would we give them another baby's milk? I don't get that. I found a quote by a pediatrician. Her name was Dr. Claire McCarthy. She's a pediatrician and communications editor at Boston Children's Hospital. And she said, human milk was meant for humans and cow's milk was meant for cows. So by that reasoning, human milk would be healthier for people to drink than cow's milk. But at the same time, it's also meant for babies, not adults. Okay, so here we go back to that statement. That's the biggest theme of what I could find. There was literally no scientific research telling me why I shouldn't drink human breast milk, only that it's meant for babies. Okay, I get that, but you're telling me to drink cow's milk and it's meant for babies. So why wouldn't I drink the milk specifically designed for my species? Now, Dr. McCarthy's concern was the risk of disease when drinking milk from an unknown source. And I already said that. That's what 90% of the information I found, was how things are processed and getting stuff from unknown donors. And, what the FDA and the government wants you to do, if you decide you want to donate breast milk, and let me tell you, I'll do a whole segment on that because that is the most complicated process in the world. And just like they pasteurize and process and homogenize and add, all this stuff to cow's milk and torture it into what they want it to be, they do the same thing with baby's milk. And what you get from government regulated donor banks is not the breast milk that came out of the breast. They torture it and do stuff to it to make it what they consider safe. So, there you go. My conclusion from every article, study, research paper, and person that I talked to or read is this: you can't argue breast milk is for babies and not acknowledge that cow's milk is also for babies. You can't tell me that I shouldn't drink breast milk unless you can scientifically show me why. And you can't tell me that cow's milk from another species, is better for me than the milk my own body creates. Society shames people for drinking voluntarily given breast milk while robbing the same milk from cows, goats, and sheep. We demand they give it, then we pump it right out of them whether they like it or not. So that's something to think about. Please don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying that you shouldn't drink cow's milk. That's not at all what I'm saying. I'm just trying to understand the logic that some people have that tell me, it's gross or disgusting to drink breast milk, but let's drink breast milk from a cow. I think I may have kind of gotten off track of what exactly I wanted to talk about, but that's okay because I think everything that's been said needs to be said. It's still confusing. I still don't understand, and I'm trying to figure out exactly where the issue is. In closing, I'd like to say that if someone thinks it's morally wrong to drink breast milk, please think about this. I give my milk freely. There's no strings attached. I voluntarily pump or allow someone to suckle at my breast by my choice. However, a cow does not have that same choice. Their milk is literally taken from them. They're locked in a pen, attached to a pump, and their milk is extracted. So, morally, which one is right? That's it for tonight. Thanks for being part of my conversation, and have a great night.